Florian, this is going to be for the Zenith investors right now. So this again is the deal that we 1031 exchange into out of that sale, 3410 Clairemont Drive. If you guys remember, it's a development deal. It's two houses. Um, Here's another developer, Remy Cortez, and then here's Toll Brothers with this big site. So you got 45 townhomes going here, luxury townhomes. You got 32, I think he's doing here, and then we're up to 19 units. I think I told you guys it went from 16 to 12 to 14, so we're at 19 now. And basically the holdup, and I know I owed you guys this video in returns for a while. We were basically, Jason and I, trying to figure out if we could. We sold a deal and had this amount of cash in an exchange, and we were trying to exchange that cash into this deal through a tick, tenant in common. But that was just too. We weren't able to do that. So effectively, what we did is we just took it as cash. So we'll pay some taxes on this separate from that, and we put this amount in the LLC. And so total, Jason and I have this amount of money, which is basically 62% of the amount of dollars in this deal currently, of the 811K. And then here are all the investors and then their chunks. So here are the equity, basically portions of the deal, for the ownership of Clairemont as it stands now. Okay, and so the money that we brought in is going to be for just getting us as far as we can with both obviously carrying costs, because again it's a vacant property, so we're paying debt, as well as design, permitting, all that good stuff. So just a reminder, reminder of where this is. Claremont's a great area. We got cool bay views, or Mission Bay views here that we're going to be incorporating. And this has changed. So this was the original scope, 16 units. We were really, wanted to get parking. Was a big amenity we wanted to address. A lot of these new construction sites are underparked, and our vision is that build cool units with good amenities, with parking, and you'll operate very well going forward, especially since we're doing this as a long-term hold, just because of how great an asset it will be. I mean, 19 units new construction is basically a trophy asset. So the deal is underwritten for like a 10-year hold, but I could very easily see everyone saying, let's just do another refi at 10 years, take a bunch of money out, and just continue holding. If an investor wants to get cashed out, of course we'll accommodate that. But long story short, it's just a great deal we're building here. So this was the initial look for the units, just to kind of give you guys an idea of where it started and where we're at now. So we wanted rooftop decks. That's kind of incorporated here. So this was like a 3-level plan. And so now what we have is it's a 5-story effectively. So it's 3 levels. And the third level is are 2-story units, and so they'll basically, floors 3 and 4 are townhome units, and then the 5th floor above that will be the rooftop deck. And so here's kind of like the ground floor, and the cool thing with this build is 10 of these units of the 19 are going to be the 2-story loft style units. So we just think those are going to crush when it comes to rent and amenities and features, rather, on the market with what's available. So these units, some of these are typical 1 bedrooms, and then as you kind of go through level 1, 2, 3, 4, you'll see how these are shaped. And so this is the second iteration of schematics, and I basically went through and looked at all the different bedrooms, sizes, layouts, where the decks are, where the balconies are, all that good stuff. Also went over with our contractor to get some notes. Sent those back yesterday. So we'll probably do like 2 or 3 rounds, and then from there we can kind of start getting into building plans. But sending you this to just kind of get you guys caught up to where we are now, but just understand that the numbers I show you, like, everything is subject to change. And just real quick, the documents that we'll sign will stipulate that. You know, I'll basically just have like a one sheet on the front, on the cover of the document, stating that up to the manager's discretion, as far as the promote, charge, the returns, the, you know, everything, the level, the amount of equity raised, like all that is very much TBD. But obviously, I'll show you guys some underwriting to end this. So just to kind of show you at the end here, the third story units are going to be right here. So this is like the ground level. Let me just make this bigger. So you walk, let's see, there's a walk up here, you enter, get your living room space, bathroom. This is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and then washer dryer. And you walk up, and then you walk up to this. So here you go, walking up, and there's, you got your master bedroom here, bedroom there. So the views will be westward, and then also you'll have another walk up to the rooftop deck. And so here are the rooftop decks. And one of the notes was these are way too big, 450 square feet. I mean, that's the size of a unit. So we're going to make these closer to like 150. They'll still be abundantly big, abundantly sized. Typical rooftop decks and patios are in like the 60 to 100 square foot range. So these will be big, but they don't need to be this big. Let's see here. And then so I'll show you kind of like a mock-up, an early render of what the building looks like. So you can see how massive these decks are. They'll probably be like a third of the size at the end of the day. But really cool. I mean, it's not going to look like this color. I think we're probably going to go with something like a softer, like a white or off-white. You know, something beach featuring, or, you know, we'll figure that out. But one of the things we're going to change is there's too many, the exterior stairwells here, we're hoping to turn into interior, because the waterproofing costs, basically just the costs would be driven up, and we want to keep our costs down. So between all these stairwells, the decks, and all these extra decks down here, we're going to look to eliminate that and just basically end up with 8 units that have rooftop decks, and then you know, all the other units will have either ground floor patios or balconies. And basically our money makers are these top units here. And just kind of going through, this is the designer also included this just to show like the views that they're trying to get. So they stagger the buildings to try to get as many views as possible for all the units. Obviously here, the west, or the you got street side, and then you got canyon side, and, or I guess neighborhood, but like the views are that way. So they're trying to make sure the street side has views as well. Obviously, when you get up to the decks, they will, just because you're so high up there. But so yeah, just to wrap up, so these will be effectively on the 5th floor. So 5th story views will be really cool, is what I'm guessing and hoping for. Originally, we were just thinking of getting them to 3 stories. And so here's kind of what we're shooting for. This is not what Mission Bay looks like. There's neighborhoods here, but just to get an idea of how high it will be and kind of what we are hoping will be there as far as views. Yeah, and even like I said, these are the units that are street side, and they still can shoot out to have views. Okay. Cool. So let me just show you guys some quick underwriting. Okay, so again, how we're doing our development deals now is we're raising enough in phase 1 to buy the deal, and then carry it, pay for permits, and get to a point where we then go phase 2, raise more money, and go get our construction loan. So this deck is showing what phase 2 would look like. Our money would be here. So this is the equity. Again, we bought it for 1.7. This is the loan was 1.31. So that's the equity that we have in the deal. We're raising this. And again, I might change how we structure this. Like I might say we have more equity based on what we've created in value. It's to be determined. But right now, this is kind of like the soft underwriting. And basically, you know, here's the deal. Here's our 19 units. Rooftop, mez type as if they're lofts. balconies, all that good stuff. Here are the rents that we're kind of, if this was a build today, this is what we think we would be targeting based on rent comps and all that good stuff. And this is more aggressive. Right now, I have 300 a foot for construction. Our designs and permit costs are gonna be way higher here than any other deal. Site work, all that good stuff. So total project cost of 7.688. And from there, we go and size what our construction loan would look like. So I have it at 60% LTC, loan to cost. And, I think we'll be able to lever up from there. Like if we're right now, we'd be able to get somewhere in the 65 range. I think at the peak, people were getting up to 70. So if we can lever up, these numbers will get better. But right now, I have it as a loan of 4.6 million at an 8.5 interest rate. And then the takeout debt, I'm sizing basically 51% LTV, 1.25 DCR, 5.75 interest rate. You can see here the value of the property. I'm sizing to be around $11.4 million conservatively. Based on different tweaks, this can get up to 13 million. As far as just based on the rents and all that good stuff. So, all in all, a good deal. I mean, if our project cost is 7.688 and we're somewhere in the 11 to 13 million range, there's some nice profit there. And so so basically your guys' returns are going to look like this. They're going to be different than when I'm sending you guys this deck in a Google Drive. So you'll see these returns, but these are not your returns. These are going to be the returns for anyone who invests in the phase 2 round. And that'll probably be like 2 years from now. Well, 2 years from when we bought it. I would say it's a lot more time and diligence just getting to a point where you're submitting permits. So, typically these deals are like 1.5 to 2 years. This is definitely more in like the 2 to 3 years to get to a finished project for, closer to 3 years for sure. But back to your guys' return. So here's your zenith. If you're a $25,000 investor, this is what you came out with, and you're putting that $40,750 into this deal. These are your conservative returns, total profit, and then combined your IRR over 10 years, and then this could this. I'm trying to remember if this is shaped for 10 or 12 years. I think it's 10 years. So 10 years. Obviously, these are superb returns, and they hopefully get better from there. Like if I stick these, one second, if I stick these aggressive rents in there, these would be aggressive for today. Hopefully in 2-3 years they're not as aggressive with just normal rent increases or the rental market increases. So if I stick the higher rents in there, now I've shot up drastically. So again, all these numbers are just subject to change because ideally I always have to shape fair returns and for everyone, and also the this stuff right here is definitely hard to shape because we're not 2 years down the road and we don't know what construction costs are going to look like. Same with debt. So bottom line though, I just hope we're sending this video just to show you guys perceived value and kind of what we're building towards. And if you're going to hang it up on anything, just understand that again, Jason and I have about $500K of our own money in this deal, 62% of all the dollars, and we're paying for the carry, the design, and as we need more money, we'll give first right of refusal to the group so that we can try to keep all the equity to ourselves before we raise more. But yeah, we're excited about this project more so than, I guess we're always excited about our projects, but this one is our biggest one yet, with really cool views, best located asset for sure. So that's a big reason why we have a lot of we're comfortable putting a lot of our dollars in and putting our money where our mouth is on a structure that we haven't yet done. Okay. Hope this is all cool. If you guys have questions, feel free as always. Thanks.